Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you here today with an article from Outkick. This is dated March 11th, and as you probably have seen some of the violence going on at like Tesla dealerships because, oh no, Elon chose to side with Trump. Well, you know what's been going on here. This article is about that. It says American left again shows tolerance for violence amid smears against Elon Musk. So let us scroll down here and get right into it. It says Elon Musk is the subject of the same incendiary rhetoric as Donald Trump was in the weeks prior to the first of at least 2 assassination attempts on his life. The mass hysteria around Musk is prompting widespread violence and arson across the country. Just this month, rioters targeted several Tesla lots with Molotov cocktails, set ablaze Tesla superchargers in Massachusetts, and shot up a Tesla dealership in Oregon. Seattle police are currently investigating the burning of 4 Tesla Cybertrucks on Sunday. I love how it's just like, you know, the violence is just, these people are just like, we're going to go just anywhere that Elon's associated with. We're going to try to hurt innocent people that have nothing to do with what Elon's doing because he's attached to these products. Okay, there's absolutely zero concern for the innocent people that may end up getting hurt by this. Okay, so remember, this is the tolerant left, everybody. It says, for some, the destruction of Tesla-branded equipment is not nearly enough. In February, TikTok influencer Sarah C. Roberts called for Musk's assassination. And here's a quote from her. It says, quote, Elon Musk, we need to X him. And by X, I mean X, formerly known as assassination, Roberts told her viewers. So she seems like a pleasant person, and I have no idea who she is. And hopefully someone pays her a visit about that. And I'm talking like the police. It says, for the first time since Trump descended the escalator in 2015, he has to share the status of public enemy number 1, as in the individual whom Democrats and their media allies exhaust most of their energy in trying to destroy. That is how much they despise Musk's recent efforts, which include neglecting his own businesses to oversee the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, an initiative set to reduce government spending on waste, fraud, and abuse. And, like Trump, the American left targets Musk with the same playbook of likening him to former Nazi leaders. You know, because these people on the left, there's only one war and one group of bad people that has ever existed to them. You know, and remember, it's from World War II, you know, so it's surprising that they don't know other wars have existed. And there's been actually much worse people on the planet, and in fact are right now in some ways, than those folks. But, you know, just go to the only people that they could think of in here that means bad person. Okay, so it says, in January, the press launched a coordinated propaganda attack on Musk after gesturing a Roman salute to Trump crowd members, claiming he was gesturing a Nazi salute, which he obviously wasn't. If you listen to him like 2 seconds after he did that, said, my heart goes out to you, and that's what he was doing. He probably should have said it at the same time or before he did it, but still, point remains that he wasn't doing a Nazi salute. It says, others simply called him a Nazi because they're dumb. This is brought to you by the Nazi-in-chief Elon Musk. Atlantic columnist Jamel Hill posted on Blue Sky recently, citing Musk's recommendations to cut back on DEI spending overseas with our taxpayer Monday. And that's Jamel Hill, who you can always count on for a very level-headed, normal opinion, and not just, you know, she's one of those folks that everything is racism. That's it. That's her entire shtick. She's got nothing to do other than that. It's all just racism, racism, racism. So it says, words like dangerous are grossly overused in political discourse. That said, incessantly depicting people who are very clearly not Nazis as Nazis is inherently dangerous behavior. Yeah, and I wonder, and I haven't read this article, but this reminds me now, there was just a video of that streamer Vosh or whatever, Vaush, coming out, he's a commie retard. So yeah, I said that word on YouTube, whatever. But he was just outright advocating for, like, calling people Nazis and advocating for the death of, you know, people like that. And it's like, dude, the only Nazis left are like in their 90s, like their mid 90s, and the only people they're a threat to are the what's it called? The nurses who change their bedpans at their nursing home. Okay, like they are a threat to literally nobody. That's all that's left. These people are not Nazis. Knock it off, okay? And all it tells me too is you're either doing this on purpose, mislabeling people, okay, which means you're dishonest, or you don't actually know what a Nazi is, okay? Those are the only 2 possible options. You're either stupid, okay, or you're ignorant, okay? Or you're a liar, I should say. So get to pick one. Anyway, let's get back to this. 7 months later, we still don't know much of anything about the first wannabe assassin who tried to murder Donald Trump. Go figure. What we do know, however, is that the man was 20 years old and had heard for around half of his life that Trump was an existential threat to democracy and the second coming of certain funny mustache German guy. Just imagine believing that. Imagine how you might respond to believing Trump is Hitler and Musk is Heinrich Himmler, or the inverse, especially the inverse. Because Hitler is explained to us as the most evil human who ever lived, unless there are only so many emotions that such comparisons could incite, all of which lead to anger and fear, and several of which lead to violence. And I've heard, I think Yoda made that statement, and where is this from? It's in Warsaw, surprisingly. Okay. But, leftists everywhere are stupid. It says, herein lies an ominous trend. Whenever Democrats want something badly enough, they now resort to feigning the most baseless and hysterical rhetoric, completely unbothered by the violence that follows. In 2020, Democrat leaders and the press defended the violent BLM protests, or riots. I said protests, it said riots there, so I said the wrong thing, not a bad thing, but the wrong thing, but it was definitely riots, because they served the invaluable purpose of keeping racism alive in America, so the Democratic Party could campaign around a plan to fix it. Or around a pretend plan to fix it. Man, I am missing some key words here, aren't I? It says, hence, they sat there and watched cities burn. Yes, they did. It says, this behavior reeks of not just desperation, but confusion. The Democratic Party still can't understand how, despite all its advantages, the media, academia, Hollywood, and tech, Americans could turn on them and elect someone well outside Washington's establishment into the most powerful position in the world. The inability to comprehend why normal people gravitate towards Trump's establishment resistance has made them more spiteful. And Elon is an extension of that. And here's another poster from another retard going on. It says, in reality, Musk is just an advisor to Trump. He has no official power. But Trump has tasked Musk with helping solve the most taboo question in all of American politics. Why do elected officials not act in the best interests of their country? And you could probably chalk that up to money. This says, Doge dares not only to answer that question, but expose those behind it. To the people in charge of the bureaucracy, Doge is the most disruptive political concept of this generation. The reality is that our elected officials have very little power relative to the bureaucracy until Doge. Doge is a threat to the bureaucracy. It's the first threat to the bureaucracy, Musk told Joe Rogan earlier this month. So no number of burned supercharger stations or shut up Tesla dealers will deter Musk's enemies from toning down the rhetoric against him or calling for peace. Notice the likes of CNN, MSNBC, and the New York Times have expressed little to no outrage over the burning of Musk vehicles and influencers calling for his assassination. Yeah, I don't think I've seen anything from any of those channels calling that out. It says, luckily, we believe Musk has better security around him than Trump did during his campaign last summer. We don't say that facetiously. The people and groups smearing Musk have outed themselves as among the most radical and violence-inciting among us, proving they will stop at nothing to destroy those who render them most powerless. They can't cancel Elon Musk or threaten his bottom line. They can only hate him. Hate is the only power they have left, and the violence that ensues. Political violence should have no place in a democracy. Violence is not how you take back control, and yet the very people casually throwing around the Nazi label continue to show a tolerance for it. And they also don't seem to understand that the things they advocate for are orders of magnitude closer to what the Nazis actually believe than anything anybody on the right stands for. And they're just incapable of understanding that very simple and easy to find fact. But hey, what do you know? Leftists are not the most intelligent people. So that is what I have to say about that. So what do you think about this? Do you, let's scroll up here. Do you agree with what's happening here? I mean, are you one of the people that is for this, or are you against this? I hope you're against it. Okay, because if you're for it, you are not exactly a decent human being, I would say, and your morality is completely effed, and you should probably do something about that. So let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, subscribe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.